But I promise you, if every single person ever watches this, you wake up and do a 20-minute walk in the morning and one after dinner, and you do it for 7 days, on the 8th day, the world doesn't fall apart. It only gets better the more you do it.
Taking oneself seriously as a form of self-respect and building up one's ability to support others and to do important things for other people in our life, our family, and for the world is so key. And I feel like taking oneself seriously is the cornerstone.
There's a clock on it. If you set it, it'll go off. When it goes off, get out of bed. Like, I've been doing it my whole life. I don't understand it. They just don't want to. They've never felt the power of being in control of the small things. Physical readiness, it can't be ignored. That is the one thing that everyone should be able to count on. And they should look at you. Well, I know John cares. Look at him. Like, he didn't wake up like that. That dude is in the gym 5 days a week because he wants to be the best fireman he can possibly be. I call back to the command, to our strength conditioning coaches, and I pulled out all my scores from a test that's very, very similar. Bodyweight bench, max pull-ups, did the whole thing. My numbers now, 15 years later, some are better than they were when I was in my 20s.
Awesome.
And it's like, I'm not training for that. This is just the program. It keeps me at a super high level. And we had a doctor from Duke University come down and do some CQB testing on me. And we had to test VO2 max. I haven't trained for VO2 max in 20 years. And my VO2 max is still on the top 0.0001% of the earth. All elite athletes. I don't train VO2 max. And my breathing is so inefficient, and that's what he laughed about. You're ultrasounding my diaphragm, and he's like, your breathing's terrible. But it translates to where your VO2 max is awesome. He's like, you can live forever. That's how we determine how long you're gonna live for is VO2 max, and your VO2 max is through the roof. I don't train it. If you just do the program, maintain it consistently, it'll give you such a well-rounded approach to everything. And that's the big thing. I don't wanna have to say no. Hey, can you pick that up? Yeah. Can you jump over that? Yeah. Can you move that out of the way? Yep. Can you move him through time and space? Yep.
Also helps because you have kids and they,
yeah,
swimming, playing, running around, and also setting a high standard within family.
Yeah.
I think there are always two sides to the fitness nutrition conversation. One is, I'll just say it, I feel like the standards in the United States have drifted so far in terms of what we consider healthy, what we're willing to accept. My dad, who is not, he's a first generation immigrant here, I'll never forget, I think it was like in the mid 90s or something, he said to me, today he was talking about himself, he said, I went to the movies and I saw people in pajamas. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, people go to the movies now like as if they just woke up in their slippers and pajamas. And I said, oh yeah? And he said, this is the beginning of the end. He said, because when that slips, then pretty soon it's like you're willing to tolerate things on the street, then people aren't weeding their lawns. And then pretty soon, it just breeds this general disinterest in taking care of things. And then, I can't link it directly to people going to the movies in their pajamas, and everyone likes to be comfortable. So I don't think he was saying everyone should avoid wearing sweatpants, but I think what he was saying is, etiquette and self-care and self-respect is projected outward. So that's one side of it, right? We have 35% of the United States is obese, not just overweight, but obese. On the other side is the opportunity, right? So it's always good to think about the opportunity. And the program that you're offering, it clearly is great for first responders and people with high intensity, high demand work. But the reason I'm interested in it is because I want to be fit for the next 50 years. And so I'm going to try it because I want to train to be able to do these things when I'm 70 or 80 or 90. I figure if I get out that far, it's kind of like, how could I possibly do it then? Well, by doing it every day until then.
I steal a bunch of stuff from you. I'm like, shit can of sunglasses. Let's get some vitamin D, straighten our eyes first thing in the morning, set circadian rhythm. I do the same thing at night. It's like, they've all been saying the same thing, man. Like, if you just make it part of your routine, and Schwarzenegger says it too. Like, hey, did you work out yesterday? Uh-huh. I'm gonna work out tomorrow, and the next day, I brush my teeth twice a day too. I'm gonna continue doing it. It's part of my routine, and I'm not gonna miss it. I've been doing this and I haven't missed a session for 6 years, and I am not gonna miss one tomorrow. Why would I? You're seeing what it's doing for me. I mean, I've got a laundry list of injuries and I'm still able to perform at a super high level because I'm not taking my foot off the gas. There's nothing magical about me. I'm the most normal dude you'll ever meet. But I mean, we have 65, 70-year-olds on that program.
I mean, standards are what we all need for ourselves, and standards are what, honestly, I think this country needs. And it's tricky because within this new administration, the whole notion of MAHA quickly got kind of stained by the politicizing of like the motives and all that. Like in the end, people need to eat better, train better, and there are real medical issues out there people are contending with. But just imagine if people actually started to take their physical body seriously. This is something I really want to, I'm going to say it again later, but I want to say it now very clearly. One thing that I think is so absolutely clear from everything you said about your backstory, where you're at now, the ibogaine work, your care for first responders, your care for your teammates, your family, is that you take yourself seriously.
Yeah.
So for you, it's I think most people take their feelings seriously. They take their responses to what's going on in their life seriously. At the center of our consciousness, a previous guest said, is our ego, the us, the me, that we're all like that to some extent. But taking oneself seriously as a form of self-respect and building up one's ability to support others and to do important things for other people in our life, our family, and for the world is so key. And I feel like taking oneself seriously is the cornerstone of everything I've heard you say today and everything you're doing. That it's not taking a feeling in a moment seriously. In fact, sometimes it's about doing that, and sometimes it's about going, no, I'm going to push that aside now. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to not do what I prefer to do in the moment so that I can really show up. But that we need to take ourselves seriously.
You do. You have to. And I have this big thing I do. I've been asked to do a lot of motivational speaking lately and a lot of that. And I tell this story about a kid that grows up to want to be a fireman and how he got inspired by a fireman. Because that guy was a physical representation of what that kid thought a fireman would be. Looked apart, act apart, he's heroic. You might as well put a red cape on this kid and send him through the door. I mean, that's what it is. But that's you representing everything you think a fireman should be. Not just what you say, what you wear, how you speak, do everything. So for me, anybody who I meet, I'm giving you both barrels right now because I am trying to live the actual life that I think I should be living, that translates all the positive stuff I'm trying to put out. If you saw me and I was 50 pounds overweight at a bar, drinking my 12th beer, talking about mental health, you wouldn't take me serious.
Talking about how you were a Navy SEAL back when.
That does nothing for them.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not how I identify. Yeah, I did that job, and yeah, you think that gives me credibility. I don't care about that a bit. That doesn't give me credibility. The way I live my life now, my daily routine gives me the credibility. Because no matter who you are, you can adopt that same lifestyle. That same routine, you can grab it as a housewife. You can wake up early and go out and do a 20-minute walk every single morning before your kids wake up. You're just refusing to do it. I don't know why, but I promise you, if every single person ever watches this, you wake up and do a 20-minute walk in the morning and one after dinner, and you do it for 7 days, on the 8th day, the world doesn't fall apart. It only gets better the more you do it. It just will. People just don't want to put in the work. They want this quick fix. They want Ozempic. They want this.
Or they're saying, and I hear this, and it's trickier for me because I'm late to the game on kids and family, but mark my words. But in your case, you've already had kids. Mm-hmm. You got a wife, you have a functioning family, and a very busy, demanding career, and a previous career that carries with it incredible experiences, but also challenges that you're resolving now, and you've resolved. And you have a mission in the world. And so a lot of times I'll hear people say, well, that's easy for you to say because you don't have kids. And I'm kind of muted at that moment. And I want to respond and say, listen, when I was a graduate student, I worked 100 hours a week. But I was in my 20s and I didn't have kids. So I have very little ammunition there. In your case, however, you have kids. And you're getting up and you're doing 2 20-minute walks, and you're including your family in these practices too. You said your evening walks with your wife are a crucial part of your connection.
If anyone is struggling with building that bridge, especially guys transition out of the military or a career, you watch it with Tom Brady and everybody else, when they leave the thing they were put on this earth to do, there is a fall from grace that can't be ignored. And most of the time that splits with the wife. Right? Like the person you are now, she's not used to being home and now you don't have anything. If you are struggling to rebuild that connection with your wife, with your partner, that 20-minute walk has saved my marriage. I have given it to thousands of people. That right there, if I could give everybody a gift, the power of that 20-minute walk. It's changed my whole life, man. That is the one constant thing I don't compromise on. I mean, even to the point where, as dumb as it may be, when I'm walking through the Atlanta airport, I don't get on the little conveyor belt. I'm not doing that. I'll walk from Terminal E all the way to Terminal A because it's a 20-minute power push. I do it, and I film it on social media. I'm getting my steps in no matter what. I'm not on my phone. I'm showing you can find the time. Instead of sitting there at Starbucks for 45 minutes waiting on my flight, I'll just walk back and forth. I just got a 40-minute walk-in straight. I'm good. So when I get back home, it's 2:30 in the morning. I don't feel guilty. I haven't done anything physical today. I wake up in the morning, 5 a.m., and I gear it up and I spin it again. You can find the time. Rarely. You have to make the time. If you're waiting for it just to pop up and like, oh, here's a free 20-minute block, you're not going to have it. And people just, that's the thing I can't get past. Like, oh, I can't wake up that early. You have $1,000 smartphone that does anything. There's not a question you can ask it doesn't have the answer to. And there's a clock on it. If you set it, it'll go off. When it goes off, get out of bed. Like, I've been doing it my whole life. I don't understand it. They just don't want to. They've never felt the power of being in control of the small things. Why stacking up the micro wins? Lay out your clothes the night before. I mean, how many people wake up, 20 minutes before they're supposed to leave the door and just frantic, like, where's my black shirt? Where's my black shirt? Who moved my shoes? Where are my car keys? Like, that's a terrible way to start the day, but you're the one who's doing that. If you just spend 10 minutes the night before, take your shower, lay out the clothes, put them in the logical order you're about to get them dressed in the next morning, and go, you'd be surprised how fast you're actually making a cup of coffee. Like, man, I did my entire morning routine in less than 5 minutes. What do I do with my next 40? Whatever you want. Do 10 minutes of meditation. Sit there in a dark room and just tell yourself 10 things you're truly grateful for. Like, I am so glad I have my wife. I'm so glad I have 2 healthy kids. I'm so glad I have a company. I'm so glad I have 2 arms and 2 legs. I'm so glad I'm still alive. Cool. What are you going to do? I'm going to make the most out of it. Go to work and do that. People just don't want to make the time because they've never seen the example. So a lot of stuff we try to put out is, I'm trying to be a physical representation of what I'm trying to mass produce. Physically strong, mentally resilient, capable, patriotic Americans. That's what I'm trying to do. I just want you to have accountability. I've accounted for all my failures, all my successes, and everything else in between, and I'll show them exactly what happens when you do it wrong. I think that's what a lot of people like the most about it, is I will tell you all my deepest, darkest secrets, because you're going to learn a lot more from those than you are about climbing Everest. Right? Like, everybody wants to see the picture at the top of the mountain. They don't want to hear about, how many Sherpas you lost on the way to the top. They don't want to hear about that. I do. I want to hear about the real struggle. Like, how hard is it to be you? Talk me through it. I can learn so much from the hardships of people. Just unfortunately, we're in a place now where not too many people are willing to share it.